Hi people of God, how's it going? If you can see me, God bless you. So I just wanted to share what I've been reflecting on. This is how I get to be close to Him and understand Him. It's about God's character. And I realized just how proper He is. He doesn't cut corners. And if anyone should cut corners, it should be Him, right? Because He's God. But He doesn't. And He proved this with the incarnation of Jesus Christ. That's the biggest example of that. So think about it. God could have sent the Messiah into the world already at age 30, right? Fully grown, ready to preach, ready to take on the cross. He could have bypassed birth, childhood, adolescence, human development, all of that, pain, waiting, emotions, but He didn't. Why? I mean, when you think about it, doesn't that prick your conscience to say, what does that reveal about God's character? It was about identification. The Word of God tells us in Hebrews 4:15, it says here, "For we do not have a high priest who cannot sympathize with our weaknesses, but was in all points tempted as we are, yet without sin." So, it is to sympathize with us, to identify with His creation. And in order to do that, you must experience it, not just observe, not just theorize, not just be above, orchestrating everything. He came to have a human experience. So Jesus didn't just come to save humanity. He came to share humanity with us, to experience hunger, fear, fatigue, grief, temptation, obedience. Oh, good gracious. Very intentional. To better understand Him again, when you think about the 30 years that was unaccounted for, the 30 years where He was hidden before He started His ministry, because He started His ministry at 30 years. They weren't wasted years. It was formation. In that 30 years, He was obedient to His parents, He was working a trade, He was learning Torah, He was living in society, He was navigating society, living in obscurity, waiting for God's timing. The Word of God says in Hebrews 5:8, "Though He were a son, yet He learned obedience by things which He suffered." Think about that. God learned something. Not because He lacked knowledge, but because He chose the experience. Good gracious. So that was 30 whole years of pruning. God doesn't microwave destinies, y'all. He forms it. That's why some of you pray for outcomes. When you don't hear from God at the time you want Him to respond, or how you want Him to respond, you quickly open your mouth. There's no God. God is not real. I'm not an atheist. God moves through processes. Outcomes may change circumstances, but the process will change your character. Had Jesus arrived fully grown, shortcut everything, He won't have any human experience. And He would not be called Emmanuel, God with us. So stop being transactional. Go through the process. That's why God didn't make the cross feel transactional. He participated right from the beginning. He participated in our suffering. What about His meekness? What about His compassion? What about His humility? The Word of God tells us in Philippians 2:5-8. It says here, "Who, being in the form of God, thought it not robbery to be equal with God, but made Himself of no reputation, and took upon Him the form of a servant, and was made in the likeness of men. And being found in fashion as a man, He humbled Himself, and became obedient unto death, even the death of the cross." He didn't cling to status. Took on the form of a servant, was born a man, and He was obedient to the point of death. That's divine humility, expressed through process, not shortcuts. Well, some of your favorite pastors and preachers and all, they can't even hold an umbrella for themselves. They can't hold the door open. They have a fleet of bodyguards Some will do their birthdays and they show up as the emperor of the city, the king of the city. Where's your humility? Therefore, Jesus' incarnation proves that God is not transactional. God is very intentional. He's committed to process. He values relationship. He's committed to fullness. That's wholeness, not just efficiency. And he redeemed us by joining us, not staring from above.